Yes, you grass-fed, free-range, bovia-free armadillos, welcome back to the channel, guys. In tonight's episode, we are going to be teaching you, absolute legends, how to use a microscope. Nice. Yes, guys, so I've been having a lot of people contact me saying they've got parasites or they're searching for parasites, they can't find them and whatnot. And they're sending me like pictures. I'd rather videos, guys, but they're sending me pictures like this. And basically, guys, what it is they're not setting the microscope up properly. So obviously they can't see the mucus, they can't see the parasites and stuff. So I thought I'd do another video on how to set up your microscope, how to use the microscope, how to search for parasites, what the parasites look for, and what treatments to use. So without further a Scooby-Doo, a doggy-doo, and a big fat pile of poo, you legends, let's do this. Oh yeah. Yes, guys, so can you see me? This is our Apex microscope. Now I've had this microscope for about 15 years. Apex, can you see that? Apex, if you're watching, I've just said I've had this microscope for 15 years. I think it's about time I was donated a new one. So that is the main part of the microscope. Then you've got this, which screws onto the top. Can you see that? That screws onto the top. We've got a charger because it's battery operated. I think the battery's charged, but don't hold me to it. And then, you legends, you've got two different types of lenses. So you've got this one and you've got this one. Now this one here, can you see that? If it'll focus, is 10 times magnification. And then you've got this one here, which is 20 times magnification. So when you're looking for parasites, guys, legends, all you need is this one. So this one is 10 times magnification. So you've got two of those. You don't need to use this unless you're checking the rainwater for toxicity. So yeah, we'll put that down there on the floor, out the way, and we'll put this microscope together so you guys can see what we're doing. So, obviously, you've got different types of microscopes. You've got the ones with the TV screens on the top and all that sort of stuff. I don't get along with them. I need to see with my own eyes. I need to see what I'm looking at. So, on the top of here, you've got a little screw-in thing there. Can you see that? And that basically secures this to the top. So that fits onto the top of there. Unscrew that, just like that. Nice and straight. Tighten that up. I said nice and straight, it's not even flipping straight, is it? So yeah, so that's our head. Stop it. That's our head on top of the microscope. We've got our ×10 lenses which go into the top of there. Now, what you can do, guys, is you can magnify that even more by unturning these ones. So on some microscopes, you've got these that just slide in and out. Oh, but on this one, because this is a professional one, you can just screw it. So that'll be like, that's ×10 plus 70. So, well, plus 7. So with those all the way down, and these in, that is 10 times magnification. Now, further down, your legends, let me bring you a bit closer in, guys. Here we have other different magnifications. So you've got 40, you've got 100, you've got 400, and on this one, if I can turn it around, you've got 10. Can you see that? See that 10? So that's the one that you need. It's normally yellow, guys. So that's the one you'd position over the top of your slide. So then you've got 10 times magnification there and 10 times magnification there, which is over the top of your slide, which gives you 100 times magnification. Now, you legends, here comes the interesting bit. So down here, I don't know if you can see these, you've got knobs. So one moves it backwards and forwards, and the other one moves it left and right. So that's got an old slide on that, guys. And then on this side, you've got where you can move the table up and down. So there's actually two of these. Let me bring you down a bit, just so you can see that. So here, it moves the table really fast. And then this one moves the table much slower. So it's more for fine focusing, this one is. And that one runs through the hole, so you can use it this side to move it up and down, or this side to move it up and down. And you can move the table up and down with this one. So we've got it set up pretty much. What you're going to do, so you've got it on the yellow one, which is 10, which is over your slide. You've got the top ones, which are on 10, which is over the two of those. So now what you're going to do is you're going to switch your microscope on. Like I say, your legends, this is battery powered and it charges up really easy. So once you've taken your scrape, you've got your slide, you've got your mukes on it. This is just an old one, you legends. So yeah, you've got your slide. Dry off the bottom of your slide. You've seen me in loads of videos, you legends, because if this is wet, when you put it on the table, you slide that back. Slide in your slide in your slide, guys. And then what you want to do is, as you're looking through the top with the big knob, you don't need any lube, you just bring up the table, keep bringing it up and bringing it up with your mucus in the middle. Can you see that? So your mucus is in the middle. You're just going to be looking through the scopes at the top, and you're going to bring your table up and keep bringing it up and bringing it up until it comes into focus. And when it does come into focus, it'll look a little bit something like this. Another top tip for you legends, can you see this on the bottom? So this is like your contrast of how much light gets through. Can you see on there how much light's coming through there now? And then that dims it. Now you want that all the way dimmed, because if you've got too much, if this is open too much, basically there's too much light and you won't be able to see any of the mucus. Top tip, you won't see any mucus, you won't see any parasites, you won't see anything, basically you'll just see a big bright white light. So this needs to be moved all the way over to the darkest setting, basically. And then while you're bringing your table up and you're looking through the scope, you'll see that the mucus will come into focus. Now, I don't know if I can get this to set up properly, but you can see where that is over the slide. Now what I would do is I would start in a corner like that. So that is now right in that far corner on the slide, and I'll bring the table across just like that while I'm looking through it, and then I'll come down and then I'll go back across nice and slowly. I know in my videos it looks like it only takes like 30 seconds, but that's because I'm speeding it up. and I'm like pausing it when I'm not talking. I just have to edit it, otherwise I'd bore the living life out of you. So yeah, so you move the table across, then move it down again, then move it across, then move it down again and across. And that's the best way. If you're just aimlessly roaming around, you're going to miss things. So yeah, that is the best way to search through your slide to try and find any parasites, again, down. And just take your time, really take your time, because obviously some parasites are very small. When you're looking for Costia, let me flip you around, guys. Yes, your legends. So we've got our scope set up. We've got the 10s on the top. We've got the 10 on the bottom. And then we're going to be moving the slide round to check for the old microscope. So like I say, legends, take your time, because things like Costia are very small to see, but you can see them with these settings. If you find them, then you can obviously move it round one, go to the next one, and then you can look again, like more in depth. But with the microscope set up like this, you will see every parasite that you need to see, if there is any. So like I say, bring the table up until the mucus comes into focus. Then you can fine tune it with the little small one at the bottom, because obviously everyone's eyesight is different. So once you've got that focused and you're scanning along, things like Costia, you'll normally find in between the mucus. So you'll find that the mucus will spread out a bit and you get a little bit of water in between the mucus, and that's normally where you'll find things like Costia. But then obviously you can scan the whole thing. Basically, your legends, what you're looking for is anything that's moving. And if you're not sure, if you've got this far and you've done it, what you can do is use your camera off your phone and film it. Film whatever you can find that's moving, and you can send it to me, and then that way I'll be able to identify the parasite for you, just until you get absolutely used to knowing what you're looking for and what you're doing. So that'll come up later on in this video on what to look for when you're doing your scrapes and you've got your microscope. So did I say that this is an Apex microscope? I've had it for about 15 years. Apex, if you're watching, definitely in need of a little update, I think, guys, in need of a little update. So yeah, battery powered, so I can take it anywhere I want to go. Easy to charge, it's got like a little 9 volt battery underneath it. So yeah, these on the top here, you can move apart and move closer together, just so you can get it lined up with your eyes. I don't really like the ones with one on. I don't know why. I just like to see things through both eyes. I find it much more difficult to use one eye to find the parasites and to concentrate on the screen really as well. So yeah, so that's the old microscope, how to set it up, how to use it. Next, I'll bring you what to look for. Oh yes, guys, mad as a box of frogs, you legends. Nice. Testicles. So, you legends, sorry guys, you've taken your mucus, you've viewed it under the microscope, you've found something moving. You can either video it and send it to me, or if you've got a book, which I've recommended in the last few, in one of my previous videos, there's the Koi Health manual available on Amazon, guys. This will show you what all the parasites look like. And also, you absolute legends, we've also got, if you want to go into a bit more depth, you've got the step-by-step Advanced Koi Diagnostics and Treatment by Duncan Griffiths. Absolute legend. So yeah, that goes into more detail. Let me put my glasses on so I can see you. Oh, you're looking lovely today, guys. Very lovely. So yes, so you've identified your parasites. The next thing to do is you need to know what treatments to use. So for instance, if you let's rewind that. The first thing you need to do before you put any treatment in your pond is to clean your filters. And this is paramount, and so many people don't do it. They just bang the treatment in, and then they end up having to keep treating and retreating to get rid of the parasites. So yes, the first thing you need to do, you legends, is give your filtration system a thorough clean. If you've got blades, run your blades. If you've got separate pumps running a waterfall, you want to run them. Everything needs to be spotlessly clean before you even start. So, and that's with every single parasite. And the reason for that is, guys, let me just move over a little bit. The reason for that is, whether you've got a Nexus or whatever, drums aren't so bad, but if you've got a Nexus or you've got a pressurized filter or you've got box filters and you've got foams or brushes or jack matting and all that sort of stuff, if you've got a section, even a section, if your easy is partially blocked, the water will bypass that part and continue to work. If your foams are blocked with crap, fish poo and waste and all the rest of it, your filter will bypass that section, and then it'll still carry on filtering and send it back to your pond. But what happens is, if you don't clean out your filter, you've put your treatment in the pond, the treatment will kill off the parasites in the pond, but there's still parasites inside the dirty muck and the crap and the poo that's in your filter. So the next time you come to clean your filter out, you macerate it or whichever you do, when you turn your pump back on, you're going to send parasites back into the pond, and then you're back where you started basically. So, and I think that is a lot of reasons why people have to constantly keep treating their koi. So that's paramount, you legends. And you need to do the same after the treatment's run its course as well. So whichever treatment you're using, whether it's potassium permanganate, formalin and malachite green, chloramine tea, Fluke treatment, it doesn't matter. You really need to make sure that you clean your filters out before, thoroughly, and after. And also recommend after any treatment, after you've cleaned your filter out, to do like a partial water change as well. Every little helps, you legends. So without further Scooby-Doo, a doggy-doo, and a big fat pile of poo, let's lube this up, you legends, and let's get into some parasites and how to flipping treat them. Okay guys, so the first parasite that we're going to be talking about is a white spot. So white spot, best way I can explain it, it's like a cold virus. The fish, white spot can be in any body of water that contains fish, but the fish are immune to it. But if the fish go through temperature change, if it's a new fish that you've introduced to your pond, obviously it's been bagged up, it's been moved, it's been put in a box, it's gone to a completely new home, it can cause stress on the fish. Also, big swings in air temperature can cause white spot. Big swings in ammonia, nitrite and pH can also stress the fish out. If a fish is stressed, you'll see, especially on the whites of the fish, you'll see it'll be like red where the veins are. The fish will have like a red look to it, and that is often a sign of stress. Clamp finned on the bottom, lethargic, not feeding properly. That can be a sign of stress, and it can also be a sign of white spot as well. So what does white spot look like, I hear you say? Well, you legends, it looks like this. Now, there is immature white spot and mature white spot. Immature white spot is very difficult to see because it's very small, guys. But basically, white spot, it starts off and it looks like a load of planets all revolved around, and it literally moves. It looks almost looks like there's hairs around it, and it constantly moves. And basically, it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow on that fish, and then it'll burst, and then it becomes free roaming throughout the whole pond. And it's got 24 hours to find another host that it can latch onto. And this, even if that fish isn't stressed out, this is how it can spread throughout your whole pond. So when it's called white spot, it doesn't mean you're going to see white spots all over the fish. It's microscopic. You need a microscope to find it. Now then, the best treatment for white spot in my honest opinion, is malachite green and formalin formaldehyde. What you do need to remember is that you cannot use formalin or formaldehyde if you've got any salt in the pond. It will destroy and kill your fish. Paramount, guys. So even if you put salt in 6 months ago and you've done water changes, that is the only way that that salt will be removed, is by changing water. So if you've just got a trickle in and a trickle out, that is only diluting the water. It's only diluting the salt. It's not actually changing it. So you need to, and it's paramount, you legends, you cannot use formalin when you've got salt in the water. So back on track. Best treatment for white spot, formalin, malachite green. If you use the pre-mix, which you can do, which is what is advised on the bottle, you've only got half the amount of malachite green in the pre-mix formula, which means that you may have to treat between 3 and 5 times to get rid of white spot, which is not ideal for the fish. It's not ideal for your pocket either. So what I've done over the last 25 years is I've always used a full dose of malachite green and a full dose of formalin. So you need to make sure that you calculate the gallonage of your pond as well, guys. So you can do that. So it's basically, if you're working in feet, it's the length in feet times the width in feet times the depth in feet times 6.25, and that'll give you how many gallons you've got. If you times that by 4.5, that'll roughly give you how many litres you've got in the pond, and then you can treat accordingly. Making sure that there's no guessing with this, guys. You need to make sure that you get it absolutely spot on, because you might not kill the parasites or you might overdose the fish. So neither of those things you want to happen. So yep, so if you use the separate ones, formalin and malachite green separately, measure your pond, calculate the both of them. You don't have to mix the two together. You can put them in separately because it will mix once it's in the pond anyway. Make sure you turn your UV light off, and then after 24 hours, the water should have gone clear again, or almost clear. That will have killed off all of that white spot. All you've got to remember to do then is to turn your UV light back on and give your filter a really good clean again, and do a partial water change if possible. And that is how to get rid of white spot. The next on the list, you lesbians, is Costia. Now, Costia is very, very difficult to see. You normally find it in between the mucus. It's a single cell parasite. It basically just keeps splitting in half and splitting in half, and it will take over your whole fish. You'll see if you have got Costia, generally the fish will start to mucus up, produce a lot more mucus. They'll be flicking. It is very, very irritating, you legends. And it looks like this. So yeah, very difficult to see. So, but like I say, if you see anything moving and you're not quite sure, what you can do is video it with your phone and send it to me. A picture is no good. I need to see the parasites moving to be able to identify it for you. So, and again, guys, some people use potassium permanganate to kill Costia, but for me, potassium permanganate is a very strong treatment, and if I can help it, I'll try not to use it. So again, guys, my preferred treatment for Costia would be exactly the same as white spot. Full dose of formalin, full dose of malachite green, turn your UV off 24 hours, and it'll be gone. Literally, do a scrape the next day and you'll see that it's all completely gone. The only reason that might not work, if that Costia's been on those fish for a long period of time and those fish have produced a massive excess amount of mucus, that mucus will protect the Costia. But in general, you legends, after 24 hours, full dose of formalin, full dose of malachite green will get rid of Costia in one shot. If you use the premix, you're going to have to treat maybe 3 or 4 times. So day 1, day 3, day 5 and day 7. Look, again, guys, that's just going to hit your pocket. Treat once, treat properly, treat thoroughly, get rid of the parasites. Next, On the agenda, we're going to go with Trickodina, and this is another one. Formalin and malachite green, guys. Trickodina is like a pear-shaped looking parasite, and they just mooch around. They back up, they go forward, they move. They just basically mooch around, and they're little pear-shaped. They look like this, guys. And again, the best treatment for Trickodina is a full dose of formalin and a full dose of malachite green. Yes, guys. You heard it here first, and that again will kill it in 24 hours. Just remember to turn off your UV light, clean your filter before, clean your filter after, and do a water change. Next is Trickodina. Now Trickodina look like alien spaceships. Again, single cell, don't lay eggs. They're just split in half, They can take over your pond. They're quite large, guys, when you look through the microscope. Yeah, and they're very easy to spot. Like I say, they look like flying saucers. They look like this. And the only treatment that I've found that gets rid of it. Now I know that they've brought out this Flukes, which is supposed to get rid of Trickodina, Costia and Flukes and gill flukes. I haven't used that yet, guys, but when I do, I'll bring it to you first, legends. So the only real treatment that you can use for Trickodina is potassium permanganate. Now, again, legends, clean out your filter before you do it. Make sure you've got your gallonage right. You've worked out how many gallons you've got. Make sure you incorporate how much water is in your filtration system so that you can get the dosage right. With potassium permanganate, and this is probably the only parasite that I would use potassium permanganate for, is Trickodina. Nothing else seems to work at all. Of years and years and years of practice, formalin and malachite green. So in Duncan Griffith's book, it says that you can use 4, but it just doesn't work, guys. So when you buy your potassium permanganate, make sure that you buy enough hydrogen peroxide to neutralise it. I would never, ever potassium permanganate a pond without having hydrogen peroxide on standby. The dosage on Kasuri products I use, guys, I 100% use Kasuri products for everything, because a lot of work, a lot of investment, a lot of research has gone into their products, and that's why I use them, basically because they work first time. So the only thing I would say is the dosage on the packet of potassium permanganate says 6.8 grams per 1,000 gallons. Now, if we go back 10, 15 years, it used to say on the packet, use 10 grams per 1,000 gallons. I've done a video on treating with potassium permanganate. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It's on a 18,500 gallon pond, and basically to keep the water purple, I had to use 12 grams per litre, per 1,000 gallons. Don't use 12 grams per litre, guys. 12 grams per 1,000 gallons, and I managed to keep using that theory. I had to top it up. I put the standard dose in first, and then I topped it up every time the water changed colour. Brilliant video, guys. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. I'll leave a link in the description. Yes, in the instructions it says you need to keep the water purple for 12 hours. There is absolutely no way that I would put any fish through 12 hours of potassium permanganate. I think you would definitely lose fish if you did that. So yeah, work it out for yourself. Keep the water purple for 4 hours to 6 hours, and then after that you can just stop putting any more in. You can leave it. Make sure you turn your UV light off. Make sure you've cleaned your filter out beforehand, and you can just leave it if you want, guys. It'll go brown, and after about 2 or 3 days the water should go clear again. If you have treated and you've been topping it up, and you see your fish are gasping and struggling, just neutralise it straight away. I generally neutralise it myself, guys, afterwards, just for peace of mind. So if I'm, obviously, because it's not my pond, I'm not a customer's, I like to have the peace of mind that has been neutralised before I leave. Another massive top tip for you: if you were to potassium permanganate your pond for Trickodina, and the next day you do scrapes and it's still there. If you've treated with potassium permanganate and neutralised it with hydrogen peroxide, if you retreat again it won't go purple because that hydrogen peroxide is still in the water, but the treatment is still effective even though it's not gone purple. And then what happens is people keep putting more and more and more and more to get it purple, and then they end up killing the fish. So yes, guys, very serious. You've absolutely got to know what you're doing to the T. So yeah, once you're finished, next day, clean your filters out again, put your UV light back on, and once again, you legends, do a partial water change. Whether it's 10%, 15%, 20%. Obviously, some people have got massive ponds, and that would be very expensive to do. But I always recommend just a partial water change after any treatment. So, okay. Next on the agenda is skin flukes, and skin flukes look just like this. Now, once you've got skin flukes, if you do a scrape and you find one fluke on, say if you scrape 6 fish and you find 3 flukes, one on a fish, it is nothing to get worked up about. It is nothing to get paranoid about. And in all honesty, I would not be banging in treatments if I just found like the odd 1 or 2 flukes. If you scrape 3 fish and you find 5 or 6 flukes on 1 fish, then you've got an issue, guys, and then it does need treating. Another thing with once skin flukes are quite big, and they lay live offspring, which are inside them. You can actually see through the microscope the live offspring. But the koi themselves will produce mucus. So basically, there's hooks on the flukes, and they'll hook underneath a scale on the fish, and then they feed off the fish. And it is very irritating to the fish, which makes them flick, and also it makes them produce more mucus. Now, this is another problem that people have when treating for flukes, and that is the mucus is protecting the parasites from the treatment. So ideally, if you've got a massive outbreak of flukes, if your fish are covered in slime coat, then my preferred plan of action is step 1, you know it, give that filter a good flipping clean out, guys. And then step 2, I would chloramine tea the pond on the first day. And basically that chloramine tea will remove the excess slime coat from the fish. And then that way, when you put your treatment in, it will actually work properly. So so because skin flukes lay live offspring, when you put your treatment in, it'll kill the flukes and the offspring all in one go. So you shouldn't need to retreat again afterwards. But again, so once you've done it, fluke treatments, I prefer Fluke P, which is praziquantel. There's lots of options out there, guys. Like I say, I haven't used that Fluke X yet. When I do, I'll let you know how it all goes. There's a lot of people that have had success with it, but you've got to bear in mind that it does kill other varieties of fish, and they have recently specified that it is only for koi. So if that treatment's that harsh and could kill other fish, you've got to think about what it's doing to your koi as well. Fluke treatments and potassium permanganate are very serious treatments, guys, and they're not to be taken lightly, and they're not just to be banged in willy-nilly, because you will destroy the immune system of the fish, and it can cause like sepsis, where your fish will just basically start falling apart and rotting in front of your eyes, and they'll die a very slow, painful death. So bear that in mind, you legends. Again, after the treatment, it takes about 5 days, most treatments do. I like praziquantel because it works as soon as you put it in, it starts to work straight away. It'll take about 5 days for it to kill all the flukes off. And then after a week, after 5-6 days, you can put your UV light back on, clean out your filter, do another scrape, check the fish. Now, if you had an outbreak and there was a massive amount of flukes on your fish, and you've treated, and you do another scrape, and you scrape a few fish, and you find 1 or 2 or 3, and you've scraped 6 fish, guys, leave them alone. Promise you. And please just leave them alone, like at least for a month. Ideally, you don't want to be putting different treatments in one after the other, because like I say, you're going to kill all your fish and they're going to die. a very slow, painful death. So yeah, so that is Flukes out of the way. Gill flukes, your legends. Gill flukes look like this. They're about the 10th of the size of a skin fluke, and they've got almost like an emoji, like a smiley face emoji. They've got 2 dots and like a smiley face. Now, gill flukes lay eggs, so you will have to treat up to 2 weeks afterwards. Gill fluke eggs can lie dormant for up to 2 weeks. So the best way to treat them is, again, I would chloramine tea, because they don't just live in the gills, they live in the gills and they'll feed off the gills, and it's a silent killer. You might not even know you've got gill flukes until you see your fish gasping for air. They'll be only swimming around where the inlet comes back in, the water, the fresh water's coming back in from your filter. They don't always flick, guys, with gill flukes. And the devastating thing is, if it's left untreated, it will destroy the gills and the fish will suffocate. So yes, they're very small, and they're very deadly. So very serious parasite indeed. Again, your legends, I think I've just said it, but I'll say it again. Chloramine tea will remove the slime coat, because they'll also live on the fish as well as in the gills. And then you just use your preferred Fluke treatment. So there is, because we've got like Fluke M, Fluke S, Fluke P, there's all different ones. Fluke M, I've done tests on this. So if you use the Fluke M powder, you need some sort of alcohol or something to get it to mix in properly before you put it in your pond. But if you scrape the fish day 1 and day 2, the flukes don't even seem bothered by it. But on day 3, they're like, and then on day 4 and day 5, that's when they'll start dying. So, and I have researched these guys over the years, so, which is why I like to use ones that start to work instantly. So yeah, when you put your Fluke treatment in, you might see the fish being affected by it straight away. Like they might be darting round, or they might do a bit of extra flicking, and that is because the parasites are irritated by the treatment. So yeah. That's it, guys. I think we've covered all the parasites. I'm going to have a big slurp on my big black cock, and I'll bring you right back. Oh, yes. Yes, gang. So I hope you liked the video. I hope it was informative and it helped a lot more people with using the microscope, because the amount of people that I get contacted sending me pictures of scrapes. Pictures of scrapes are no good, you legends. If you're a member of the Gold Crew or a YouTube member, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me. Send me a video of your scrapes if you see anything moving, and I'm more than happy to identify it for you. I do help other people as well, guys. It's non-stop, all day, every day. If I can get back to them, I definitely do. There is a few people that are probably watching this right now that I've helped. So if you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know if it was useful to you. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Yeah, so there are a couple of books. I've showed them before, but I'll show you them again. There's the manual of koi health, which is really good. It's available on Amazon, guys. I know that a few of you have bought this because I mentioned it before. That is like a basic step-by-step. It teaches you about water quality, parasites, the nitrogen cycle and all that sort of stuff. It is a great book, water testing and all of that sort of stuff. If you want to go a bit more in-depth, you've got Duncan Griffiths. I've had this book for about 15, 20 years, guys. So yeah, some of the pages are stuck together. But that's just down to me being bored and carrying some flipping lube with me. So yes, guys. The next video is a competition video, so stay tuned. It should premiere just after this one, really. Yeah, and it's a banger, guys. It's a banger. So you can win some. You're going to win all the merch and £100 in cash. Oh, yes, guys. So thanks for watching, you legends. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your koi. Take care of your loved ones. God bless each and every single one of you. I love you all, man. So yeah. Peace!